Hey everybody, it's Queen Jelly here, and welcome to, or welcome back to the Toy Box. This is a doll and toy themed YouTube channel meant for adult collectors such as myself. With that being said, today is going to be the third out of 4 parts, but the third doll for the gorgeous Oasis collection, Miss Lagoona Blue. I'm very excited to get her open with you guys today and complete this collection and look at them all together. Thank you so much for being here so far. Please don't forget to do all the things like, comment, and subscribe, and all those other fun things that YouTube makes me say. And I will see you on the desk. Bye. All right, so here we are on the desk. Not to ruin the YouTube magic for you, but I did pre-film all of my intros at the same time, so that's why they kind of look, they were all filmed the same day, but I was actually filming them one at a time, just because the editing, processing, and uploading process takes so long. It's easier to film, completely process the video, and then go back to the next one, but I usually can only get about 1 video a day at that rate, so I did have to film them back to back to back, and unfortunately I had to skip a day because I was working extra hours at work. So now trying to get this, I'm filming it the night before it's supposed to go up. It goes up at noon, and it's now currently 10 o'clock at night. And so I apologize if I'm a little bit off. I don't think I really will be, but I just wanted to let you know that it is kind of late for me because I work in the very early AMs, usually start around 6 a.m. So this is kind of late for me, but I am trying to get this video out for you guys as promised. So wish me luck. Anyway, here is Lagoona's box, pretty similar to the other ones where we have Lagoona here on the front. 125 plus looks, 19 plus surprises, destination Gore-geous Oasis, reveal a doll. And then on the back, we again have the image of the 3 different options. This is the last one for this series. I'm kind of curious to see how it goes because the Gina Fire one I wasn't super fond of, and then the Dracula one I was actually surprisingly happy with. So let's hope that Lagoona's in the middle. That's all I have to say. Or even better than Dracula. That would be even better too. But let's hope she's at least in the middle. Let's be realistic. Okay. Just one more quick note, not related to the doll, but just letting you guys know I did start using a new editing software lately, so I do apologize if things feel a little bit clunky or different. I'm still getting used to the new program, so the volume of the background music is really an issue for me. I have it in the last video, the Dracula one, that was the first one using that program, and I had it set to literally volume 5, and it still felt too loud, so I do apologize about that. I'm still figuring it out, so stick with me on there. Anyway, this is the inner case for Lagoona. I'm just going to go over it as if you've never seen one of these before, just in case. This is an outer plastic shell with a cardboard here portion in the center. It is a pretty sturdy cardboard, so you could use this to carry your dolls places. However, I would still just be careful with it because it is just cardboard. Again, that means pros and cons. Pros is a lot less plastic waste, especially when you're purchasing all of them and you already have a lot of big plastic cases from all the previous ones. But the con is that it's not as protective if you did want to use it as a actual storage case for your dolls. So I do like I said, they reduce in plastic though. So however, I feel like out of all of them, this is the one series that I would have liked to have a solid front on it because this is so convenient for traveling and taking your dolls places for like pictures and stuff like that. And especially it is a travel-based theme, but I do appreciate the reduction in plastic. So we have our drink for Lagoona, which has this little tentacle coming out of it. Like the others, they have their heart up here and then a palm tree, and then down here is an umbrella for Lagoona. It's a little conch shell, and of course it says Lagoona Blue and has their skelette here in the center, and then on the back is Lagoona holding the key and then those same stickers. I really like the color scheme for this one, the teal and like bright pink. This is a really nice combo. So all right, with these the reveal is immediate, so we will see our doll all right away in 3, 2, 1. Okay, She's cute. Not as blown away as I was with Draculaura. I feel like the stars across her face are kind of dark, so they kind of stand out a lot. Let's see what she looks like a little bit closer in a moment. So we do have an instruction sheet in here. There's not too much to follow though. So it shows on the bag that you can open it in a particular order. I've tried to figure out what the order is for the bags on these. I've gotten it wrong both times. Maybe third time's the charm. I don't think it really matters between 3 and 4. And then the rest are technically based on the keys. However, the keys are not necessary for opening the dolls. So what steps 3 and 4 are opening these paper bags here with the accessories. So as you can see, there is a lighter trim and a darker trim, but other than that, there is no indication, no numbers or different images on them to show you which one would be which. On the instructions, it looks like bag number 2 or step number 2 is the lighter bag, but this also feels really heavy, so this is probably the second bag because I can feel the shoes in there. So this is going to be the actual accessories in step 1. Or it should be. Yep. All right, so for the identification tag, Lagoona has a silver one. This doubles as the key ring for the reveal keys. We have a pair of blue sunglasses. Oh, those are really cute. So they're kind of a transparent blue with a little silver squiggle across the top. Oh, there's the corset top. So for Lagoona, it is pink with pink, white, and orange shell on the front. Kind of looks like a lesbian flag. Not gonna lie, I really like that. And then we have a little pearl detail here in the center, and it is pink the rest of the way around. It does look really nice though with this kind of like coral detail. The pink makes sense. And then we're gonna take out the hangers. They are in like kind of a teal blue. And then here is her fan. Okay, so it's printed on the other side. Quite an interesting shape. And here is the print. We have a shell in the middle and kind of a fan design around the, or like a feather design around the outside with kind of some ribbon detail here in the middle that I think are supposed to kind of look like tentacles. It's quite an interesting looking fan. I like it. I feel like it probably has like a specific cultural representation. So if you guys know about that, please let me know. Bag number 2. All right, so we have our shelves. They do kind of look like little drawers, but they are actually shelves that you put in this direction with the hard top on the top. The reason I know that is because of this hook right here. This hook is meant to hold their hangers. So it only works if it goes this way. If you put it in like a little drawer, then there's nowhere for you to hang up the hangers. But these just go in the case so you can use it as a playset. Then the shoes are these silver shoes with lots of little details, it looks like. So we kind of have maybe like, I would say maybe like a Mayan design. Is that crazy? That's kind of like these spirally like staircases. They almost kind of look like blocky versions of the hill from Nightmare Before Christmas. And then on this side, we kind of have a fish skeleton. So you see here's the head, the body, and then the tail. And then it looks like a pyramid down here. So maybe it is supposed to be like Mayan details, which also would kind of explain the feather fan. These are pretty interesting, actually. And then we have this little like faux toe ring here. And then the strap around. This is a very interesting shaped shoe as well. That's a very unique mold. And then for her purse, it is kind of a light pearl with a pink, yellow, and blue gradient on it, and sculpting on the back. It's very pretty, but I just, overall, this series is just, even Draculaura that I really like has had an issue with color matching. Like, it's just like every shade of whatever color the character has is in here. It's not like this hanger matches the suitcase, but like this light blue, where's that? That's not anywhere. I guess the suitcase kind of matches the skirt a little bit, but like there's light blue, medium blue, turquoise. Like the color schemes in this series are just kind of all over the place. And I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but, and here's the thing, like, again, if you saw my Draculaura video, it's not always a bad thing. Like, I don't feel like they always have to match exactly to like every item in their set, but like, I feel like these were kind of, each piece was thought of individually. They weren't really thought of like, how does this look all together? Does that make sense? But here is the suitcase. So it has this little heart shape here, which you're meant to put the key in and use as a handle. However, not necessary. There's no actual locking mechanism. It's literally just a hole. We'll get there in a second. Be patient. There is a shell here on the outside. There is an anchor underneath it, some tentacles on the side, and a lot of like net and like wave designs all the way around the edge. I actually really like the sculpting for this suitcase. I think this is really cool. And then here's the handle. They all look the same. I thought it was a bridge design in Genifier's because it looked very similar to kind of like a Chinese or like it looked to me like Oriental architecture. So that's why I thought it was specifically for Genifier, but this is the handle that they've used on all three of them. It doesn't collapse because this actually clips here on the front of it. If we open up the inside, we have yet another color. This is the key that will go with the smaller suitcase up here. Here is the bandana, which has consistently been my favorite part of this series. We have a shell here that looks like it's being bit on and being held down by tentacles with a little pearl in the center. We have two anchor designs as well as some more tentacles here, and then a conch shell up here at the front. I really like how this kind of ties in the other designs. We have some pink and green designs here. I do like that this brings in new like motifs for them. So like Draculaura had a lot of like rose designs, which isn't something that we typically see with Draculaura, or at least that in the dolls that I've opened. I don't think Genifier really got anything too new for her, but I feel like these kind of like more blocky designs are pretty new for Lagoona. All right, then we have the shrug, which, Lagoona's is a shorter sleeve one. The other two were like full length, but this is kind of like a little knit. It's kind of in a mint color, so again, introducing even another color into this collection. And then we have pink skirt. So hers is just a regular skirt. It has, let's see, some white embroidery on it. Looks like a skelet here, maybe a barrel with a tentacle coming out of it. This is really hard to read, and this has been my favorite piece in the other ones just because it's so unique and very specific to the characters. Like, I can see, like, here's an anchor. Hey, it's Editing Jelly here, and I wanted to let you know it is currently 12:30 in the morning, and I'm trying to get this edited, and for some reason, YouTube Create decided that this 6-minute clip was not good enough to use and refused to import it into the editing software. So I'm just going to go back to using iMovie for editing, especially because I think the YouTube Create app might be stealing my content for AI usage, which I do not approve of. Now, I know G3 Lagoona is Honduras, which I believe is also where some of that like reference is coming from, but because of the way that this is cut off, I can't really like tell for sure what some of these things are, because like for like they have on the other two, they have like a Transylvanian castle or like what looks kind of like a temple on them. So it's obviously meant to like represent their culture, but again, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but like this like white on pink is just really hard for me to tell exactly what the images are. And then we have some pink shoes. These are really tall. Wow. So we have the seashell heel here. We have kind of a pearl stream going up the center and kind of like a knotted rope design here around the top. And I like these like strands down here, kind of looks like they should have little pearls on them. Obviously there's no painted detail other than this strap right here. Blank bottoms. Some of the other ones have had sculpted bottoms. So that's why I wanted to check. Let me check the gray ones. Oh, these do have sculpted bottoms. So there's a skelet there in the middle, with just a lot of shapes around them. I mean, like I can see some squares, I can see some dots. Like I'm not seeing like a particular pattern to them, but they are really cute. I'm trying to get them to focus. The ring light with the silver is not a great combo. All right, so that is the accessories from here. And then next we're going to take this suitcase off. All right, so if you guys watch my Gina Fire video, I know I'm talking a lot about the other two, but that's what I have to go off of. The case kept popping open and wouldn't stay closed. The Draculaura one I didn't have an issue with, and now I'm not having an issue with the Lagoona one. So for some reason, I just got a defective case with Gina Fire. But here is Lagoona's case. I do like, you can kind of see a little bit of sparkles embedded in the plastic, which is really cute. We have some shells up here, kind of like what she has on her forehead. Fins here on the side. And of course, the whole thing is shaped like a skelet. And then the handle is a pearl sculpt. The little wheels on the side are my favorite. And then like I was saying earlier, this just clips here on the front. And then we open it. It should just have a belt inside. So for Lagoona's, it is white with pink detail. So we have an anchor, a flower with an unpainted shell right above it, and an L for Lagoona. All of these have come with an adjuster, so you can wear it smaller or bigger. I'm not entirely sure, like, I guess if you wear it like exactly on their waist, they can kind of wear the smaller size, but I think the smaller size is kind of unnecessary. But I don't know. Let me know how you styled yours if you did use the smaller one. Did you use it in a different way than as a belt? Was it just so it would sit higher on their body? Like, let me know, because I'm curious. All right, before we go to the doll, take a quick look inside the case. So all of them have had this kind of like pool area outside the window. I like the moon here. We have a jellyfish chandelier. That's really neat. Of course, tentacles everywhere. This kind of looks like a little mimic down here. Their sunglasses, their fan, a little pearl, and some flowers. And then on this side, this has been consistently my favorite side. I love the images of all of them together. So for Lagoona, we have this in their little like heart cave. The accessories, Lagoona, and then in this one, they're all showing off their fans. All right, so put that to the side for now because it keeps wanting to fall over. Here is Lagoona. I really like this hair color for her. So we have a lot of blue and then just a little bit of blonde here at the top. That's been pretty consistent with this series where it's mostly one color and then just a touch of the other. And just like the rest of the series, the hair has been fairly soft. Hers does feel a little bit greasy, but nothing terrible. On her forehead, she has blue scales and then darker pink scales on the outside. She has her teal eyebrows and then teal and pink eyeshadow. Her eye shines are bubbles. And then she has stars all across her nose, as well as some little freckles that are in like a dark teal. Her earrings are a fish hook with a skelet and a net coming off of them. They do appear to be the same on both sides. Her her little tank top is a dark blue with shiny details. So I can see like a seaweed. I can see a conch shell. I do like this design, but I feel like in such a small scale, so much of it gets cut off that you don't really get the full effect of having something with this kind of like sporadic print. And then we have this skirt here. So it looks like there is a black mini skirt underneath with a fuller teal layer on the outside and another like lighter teal trim. And this one cinches on the side rather than in the front. And then I really like this detail here. We have some scaling kind of going up her knee. This is very unique for this Lagoona. So we have like a teal, like kind of like I said, kind of like scales, kind of suction cuppy design. Unfortunately, there is a small flaw in mine, but it's a very small one, so it's not that big of a deal. And then, of course, her fins and her translucent lower legs. So rather than having a little bit of pink here like we usually would see where it kind of like fades up, we brought the teal up into the knee area instead of bringing the pink down into the lower knee, is what it looks like to me anyway. All right, so I'm going to pause right here. I'm going to play around with some accessories and then we'll come back. So like I did with the other two, I will have to decide what I personally want to keep on them later, but I did just put essentially everything on there that I could so we could kind of look at it. Now, I will say that I feel like these second pieces do kind of help with the like color identity, kind of like how this chest piece really helped Gina Fire. Because I feel like these pinks at least go together. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe it's just a pink thing that I don't mind different shades of pink. I don't know. Maybe it's just the way that my eyes work. Again, like having color schemes. I know a lot of people like complain about color schemes and I usually don't have that same issue. I don't know what it is about this specific series that to me just kind of feels a little bit all over the place. But anyway, like I said, I feel like this isn't too bad. Again, I did put one of each shoe on so we could kind of see it, but the pink definitely works with the pink skirt. I really like this little cutout here. I think this is really cute. And again, the shell piece here really helps pull in all the pink. And this teal isn't too bad. It's not like, again, it doesn't match, but it doesn't clash as much as I kind of expected it to when you have all the other pink options on, especially because there's not like other blues going on in this outfit. Obviously there's a little bit here, but it's not too much. And then of course there's the bandana, which having the black on there really does help. I know that these are meant to be mix and match series, and sometimes mix and match series can get too much, like this is clearly one outfit and this is clearly the other outfit, but at the same time I feel like this is almost too much. Like these are all just a bunch of random pieces that they kind of threw together and hoped that it worked. Like I said, there are ways to make them work. Overall, like I'm really happy with the base dolls on all of these. I think the teal here, I think I would have liked it was a little bit lighter, just for honesty's sake, but other than that I think that I will like them once I find a combination that I like. Again, this outfit isn't too terrible when it's all together, so I may end up leaving this on her, but I don't want to make them all like wear the exact same parts. I just, with the Skulltimate secrets, because I'm only displaying one version of each of them, I don't have like infinite time, space, or money to have multiple copies of each of these dolls. I do like to try and show off a different amount or like a different outfit on each of them, even though yes, they all are completely unique to the characters. They're still a like matching piece for each of them, so I like to kind of have a different variety on the dolls when I'm displaying them. I am an accessory like hoarder, especially when it comes to like wearable accessories. So I do tend to like put like everything in the kitchen sink on them when they're being displayed. However, I still like the base outfit to look a little bit different. So that's why I might keep the other skirt on this Lagoona just for like making her slightly different. But again, that's something that I will decide. And I've also decided that I will try and add a clip into the compilation video that should be coming out tomorrow that is showing the final looks that I've chosen for the 3 dolls. So check that out tomorrow if you're interested. Hopefully I can get this video edited down to something watchable tonight. Thank you so much for sticking with me through this journey. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Please let me know what you think of these dolls down below. Do you have any tips and tricks for making them a little bit more cohesive? What outfits did you decide to put on them? and I will see you tomorrow for the compilation. Bye.